All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next issue of our Expert Access series. We are speaking with the none and only Miss Eurydice, everyone, talking about getting grant ready. So, welcome, everyone. Very glad for you all to make it here. Uh, I hope that you're ready. I hope that you're ready because we have a lot of great information to come up. And just to get things kicked off, respecting everybody's time, coming here is none other than Miss Eurydice Moore. She is a beast in the 501c3 nonprofit startup space, helping out with grant writing, assisting leaders, and not just attaining their nonprofit status, but on a state level, but with the Internal Revenue Service, leaders who are looking to get grant ready, people who are looking to get into the research of it all. Miss Eurydice Moore is here for that. She's been doing this for over 10 years. So I hope you all are ready. I hope you all are ready. Miss Eurydice, are you ready?
Yes, I'm
You ready?
ready.
Beautiful, great, great. All right, so let's get things kicked off. You know me, I like to do this kind of conversational style, just if possible, just a moment for us to just talk. Share with everyone here a little bit about yourself, like just out of curiosity, like how did you get started into this particular portion of service?
Oh, yeah, great. First, I want to thank you, Dr. Glenn, for creating this platform for us. I appreciate it. And shout out to Miss Quandra. I don't know if she have joined us or not, but it's recorded. I want to give her her prompt as director of BAS. First, I would like to give a disclaimer to everyone that I am not an attorney nor a tech professional, and any information that I share, feel free to contact an attorney or tax professional as applicable. I want to first mention that. The second thing I want to mention is that I do have a pay hip store. There's some things I'm going to share, and if you want to get additional information, you can go to this store. But also, I want to put a warning out there that I do protect my intellectual property. I have sued people, and I will sue. So if you see something that you like, then you want to get into licensing with me or collaboration or partnership, that is not an issue. Contact me. Let's not get sued. Okay. Now, a little bit about me. I am a Sunshine Enterprise alumni from 2018. And the business that I have is called Eurydice. It is a consulting firm that offers business development, helping people to form businesses, whether you're for profit or nonprofit. But I specialize in assisting emerging leaders and setting up 501c3 nonprofit, and been doing that since December 2004. We also offer grant writing services and related grant writing services to both nonprofits and for profit. So we do write grants for you if you are for profit. We have a 5-star Google rating, which I'm very thankful and proud of. And we have several governmental certification. I won't bore you with all the certification, which position us to seek contracts on the local, state, county, and federal level, and we are now seeking, going through, shifting through bids to be submitted for the purpose of attaining governmental contracts. So, how did I get into this? Well, I am a faith based believer. I truly believe in God. One night I went to sleep and I had a dream, and in the dream, God spoke to me and said, I want you to get a 501c3. When I came out the dream, I'm like, what the heck? What is a 501c3? So I Googled it and I found out. And then I'm like, okay. Then the next day I lost my job. I was a Chicago public school teacher. And then next thing I know, bam, no job. So of course I was upset. Rent was due in 2 weeks. Okay. So, and a lot of bills was due. And so I went into prayer, and then God spoke and said, I told you to go into business. And then I'm like, okay, I told you to get a 501c3. So I called around, talked to attorneys, and at that time they wanted $3,500 to $4,200 for a 501c3. And I'm like, you all are tripping. So I went to the IIS website, downloaded the book, prayed, had my anointing oil, slapped some oil on my forehead, and filled out the application myself. And bam, got the 501c3. And I'm like, what
You
now, God? Then people found out that I had the 501c3, and they like, how did you get a 501c3? I want a 501c3 for my nonprofit. So that thrust me into business. And
okay.
the week before everything was due, I had clients, and I was able to meet my financial obligation being a single parent, and the rest is history. So I was thrust into business. Business was nothing that I ever imagined. I have worked in different capacity, different careers, different industries over the year, and business was not on the table for me. So that's it. That's how I'm doing what I'm doing. Just obeying
So
God, Dr. Glenn. Just
let
obeying.
let me get this right. So we started off teaching in the schools, and you said that you came to a certain point in your life where that wasn't feasible. You had to walk away from it, and you leaned on faith from a
Yes.
dream and decided to figure it out. Now, I've worked with professionals who have charged me around that 3,500 to 45 to get the paperwork for a 501c3 for a LLC, etc. Like the prices are really up there, but you figured it out on your own. So that part of the journey had to been terrifying. Like you had to have so many questions. Like, how did you like explain to me like how you felt? Because I'm sure other people who's on the call who's either had to start it themselves or is in the process of doing it had to go through those same emotions. What was that like for you?
Okay, I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What was that like? You were leaning on faith, but was you not scared about messing things
Uh,
up?
I was trembling in my boots, but there's a saying that said, "Do it scared." So I did it scared.
Respect that. I definitely respect that. And so, what are some of the things that you wish more founders or more nonprofit startups leaders, what are some of the things that you wish that they knew or they understood before they get into, starting their nonprofit or even trying to get into grant writing?
Okay, some of the things, and I got several points, and I'll be brief, that I wish they had a good understanding, is that they are responsible for the leaders and their board are responsible for fundraising. They should have done some form of fundraising. Uh, the grant is not the be all end all. It's a supplement. The funders do not want to be an ATM machine. They do not want be a welfare system. At some point, they expect you to have what is called a sustainability plan, so that if you don't have grants or grant or you don't get funded a particular year, your organization will be able to continue functioning with or without a grant. Another thing, couple of things I noticed that I would like for them to know is that when they need to have either a nonprofit or a for-profit before coming to me. Some people have came, Dr. Moore, I want a grant. And they don't have any business, they don't have a formation. And then once they are formed, and those people that have formation, they need to know that that that's just the beginning, because the funders got their whole, it's a whole new ball game. They got their requirement. So once you get one set of requirement, then there's another set of requirement from the funders that have to be met. there's no ownership of a non-for-profit, because I have heard people, my non-for-profit, it's not yours. It belongs to the state in which the nonprofit reside. It belongs to the people of the state. There is no ownership. If you want to own something, you need to set up a for-profit, whether it's LLC or Inc. or partnership or whatever. Non-for-profit, there is no ownership. Grants are not guaranteed. Just because a grant application is fulfilled and submitted does not mean that you will automatically be funded, because it is competitive. It is very competitive. So a lot of people, they fail to realize, oh, I submitted a grant, so I'm funded. No. Grant writers cannot guarantee that you're gonna be funded, because a lot of them lose heart. They like, oh, you wrote a grant and I didn't get funded. Well, the grant writer, the money is not theirs. The money is the funder. The funder goes through all these applications and they make the selection and they determine the award and they contact you. So grant writers are not responsible for you getting funded, but they are responsible for producing and representing you with a great application. But they don't fund. They don't do the funding.
So
Uh
can I pause on that one?
uh-huh.
Uh, I think that's a really important aspect for people to understand about grant writing and that grant writing process. And this is just me asking, knowing that, and you have way more, do you still think that it's important for business owners to seek grant writers when they're trying to secure a grant? Do you feel
I'm gonna
like
be
that's
very
important?
honest. A lot of these grants you could do yourselves, and I promote self-reliant. I'm a strong believer in DIY. Do it yourself, because I might be in France one day or Spain or Israel, and you won't be able to find me. So I tell, and I offer free grant writing classes that been funded. It's been funded by the city of Chicago, a small group of business women. It's been funded by Walmart, funded by my business, where you can learn how to write your own grant. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of these grants are very simple. It's just a simple application. Many of them are only one page. I have done a lot of one-page grants. Grant writing is totally different from when I started. I've been writing grants since 1985. So do the math. That's been a long time. I was back there in the days when we had manual. I'm telling on myself. I was back there in the days where you had the manual typewriter. Yes, I was. And it would take a month to put a grant together. And those grants would be anywhere from 40 pages to 80 pages long. And you had to walk them in, or you had to send them through the post office by a postmark date. So grant writing has truly evolved thanks to our former president, Barack Obama. He got in there and he told them to streamline the grant process. And they did just that. And then they put it online. And so it's not all them pages. So grant writing, you can do it yourself. Just hire the grant writers for the harder grant. That's my recommendation. And then also I found out, which I would like for a lot of them to know, because a lot of them turn their nose up at money. I have gotten grants for $25. My business have gotten grants for $100 and $1,000, $500. And people come to me, I want the money. I want the money. They want six figures. They want $1 million, and don't have no funding history, never received a dime from nobody, whether you're a for-profit or nonprofit. Who in their right mind is going to give you $1 million and you don't have a track record? So they fail to realize that you need to have a track record, you need to have a funding history. So leave no money on the table, whether it's $25, 100, 500,000, 5,000. Leave no money on the table. You want to develop a, a funding history, and you don't want to misappropriate funds. You don't want to ask for money for a specific purpose, and then when you get it, you decide to do something else with it. I have actually, with my own eyeballs, seen pastors go to jail. This is a real problem in the churches. I know pastors that went to jail, and and then these funders want you, whether you're a for-profit or non-profit, where we know non-for-profits for the community. They are really asking for-profit to give back to the community. So that's it on that question. That's what I want to share. Hopefully this will help somebody, especially stay out of jail.
Yes.
Do
Yeah.
not
So
pass go.
you the way you're talking about it, uh uh getting these grants, you putting in the application. Let's talk about getting ready for that. So what is grant ready? Because we hear that all the time. You want to get your business grant ready. We sent out the promotion and marketing, getting grant ready. So what does that mean to be actually grant ready? I know you mentioned some of it before, but this is a point in time where people can start taking notes. So, like, what is grant ready for them?
Okay, grant ready is I mentioned a little bit of it to the other question. So I'm gonna reiterate it and then share some more points. Getting grant ready. Like I said, I have had people, Dr. Moore, I want a grant. And they had no business structure. They wasn't a nonprofit, for profit. All they know, they heard the buzzword grant, I want a grant. So you got to have a business structure. You just have to decide if you're going to be a non-for-profit or for-profit. You need to have a mission or a vision statement. You need to have an email in the name of the non-for-profit or for-profit that's getting grant ready. Getting grant ready, I had people call me and see, I do an assessment when you're talking to me to let you know if you're grant ready. And if there's any deficiency, I make recommendation what you could take care of, and then you can come back to me. There have been people that didn't have websites. Funders want you to have website in the name of the business or the non-for-profit. Bank account. I have had people to come to me. They had the above that I mentioned, but they hadn't opened up a bank account yet for their nonprofit or for-profit. Funders don't mail out checks anymore. Them days is gone. They used to mail checks out. Walmart was one of the last ones as of last year to stop mailing checks. They now send money electronically to your bank. So you need to have a bank account in the non-for-profit, for-profit, not in your name, not in your personal account. Getting grant ready also means your social media presence, and don't be stubborn about it, because I'm coming across this. Social media, I'm looking at the grant application. I'm telling you what they're asking for. They want you to have a presence on Facebook, Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm sorry, folks. Folks want to debate me. Well, I got Instagram. I got LinkedIn. I'm not, but you don't have the others. I mean, what the heck? It's free. Set it up. You know, I can't. When I do a grant, they ask for the link to those four, and if I don't put the link in, it won't let me go to the next page. It will not let me
Mm.
go to the next page. So I have had people lie to me and tell me they had a website, tell me they had all four. And then when I went back to ask for the information, they didn't have it. So now the grant is void. And guess what? No refund. You have messed up. You have wasted my time, your time. So people, you got to follow instruction. Tax filing. Uh, if you are a for-profit, they're gonna ask for your tax filing. If you're a nonprofit, they're gonna ask for the 990. Business licenses. Do you have a business license? I have had people to sign up with Secretary of State, register with Secretary of State. They are a domestic corporation. Um, they're they're nonprofit, but they didn't bother to get a license. I'm in Illinois. They didn't bother to get a license with the city of Chicago. Now, some
Mm,
people might like, oh, a nonprofit don't need a business license. The only time you need a business license is if you are selling something that's unrelated to your purpose, your mission, and your vision. Let's say you got a vending machine on the premises. Let's say you're selling T-shirts and stuff. You
mhm.
got to pay taxes. So now you're doing business. You're gonna need a business license. I can't tell you how many people I have counted that did not have business licenses with the city of Chicago. So once you form your structure, you got to find out if your business is required to have a license. Then, of course, your professional licenses. Let's say you got a salon. Okay, so you got your business structure. You the owner, you're a LLC. All right. Do you have your cosmetology license with the state? So professional licenses. So that's it.
That I know that was a lot. I mean, I was
Mhm.
taking some notes over here for myself. I hope you guys are taking notes as well, and make sure that you are commenting, talking to the chat, 'cause we're going back and forth. But
Okay.
I've heard business structures, vision and mission statements, your business emails, your website, your social media account, and bank account, all in your business name. Just a reminder, if it's a nonprofit, you're not the owner of the nonprofit. I thought that was important to write down. You don't own the nonprofit. The state owns the nonprofit. Wherever you register, that's who owns the nonprofit. You are doing the service for people. You need your tax filing, you need your business licenses, you need your professional licenses. Did I miss anything?
Yeah, no, you hit it. You hit it on the nail. You got
All
it.
right. All right, all right. I see. I think I saw Ernest shake his head like, yeah, I think I got some of that. All right, I see you, brother. Good, good. So, all right. So we got all of that. Now, once we come up with all of that and we're ready, okay, we're grant ready now, Miss Eurydice, and we're ready to try to get into applying for grants. What are some common mistakes? And I know you mentioned some of them earlier, but what are some common mistakes for us to look out for?
Okay. Not being grant ready.
Not being great.
Procrastination. Unfortunately, you and I have experienced and quandered the upper management. Procrastination. You have to be aware of deadlines. And I have experienced where people weren't turning in their documents on time. And Sunshine have an excellent program through the help desk out of many other programs. And we have seen people actually lose their grant because they did not turn in their document. Another thing that I noticed, um, non-responsiveness to emails. We have experienced that, Dr. Glenn, when I have made it you aware because we're in touch with each other that I have some people emails and they didn't respond. They just went into the witness protection program, don't know where they at, you know. So failure to update their information. People, I'm going to repeat it. Failure to update their information. Failure to update their information. What do that mean? I have had a client to lose a $5,000 grant. She was approved. The nonprofit was approved and she moved the nonprofit to another location. She did not contact the Secretary of State. She did not contact the Internal Revenue Service with the address change. And guess what? I worked on the grant. She did not inform me that she moved the nonprofit and she lost $5,000. That was
Mm,
it. The check went back, returned to Walmart. And then I had another client that had the same situation, but she got on it. She like, oh no, she had like a total of $10,000 from Walmart, and somehow or another, I found out. I found out for both of them, honey. Sister girl got on it, and she got
Mm.
all her 10,000. Did none of her money go back? So if you move to another facility, a new location, make sure you update your document, and across the board, you got the same contact information. I've seen, I really felt bad for her. You know, Another common mistake is to think that the money is for you. Cause I talked to someone and they like, oh, I really need this money. No, the community really need the money. The money that you get, the funding that you get, is not for your personal gain if you are a non-for-profit.
So you telling me that if I have a nonprofit business for mental health and I am currently undergoing some mental stress because my rent is due and I don't have enough in my bank account, I can't just take the money for myself for my mental health?
Okay, I got two comments on that. Um, the government will gladly give you a room in the jail or prison and feed you a bologna sandwich, bread and water gladly if that's what you want. So you got to think is I suggest you go rob Peter or Paul or find someone because they will put you in jail. It's called misappropriation of funds.
Mm.
So another thing, I don't want you to lose heart and say, well, what's the heck? What's the point? I'm a person. I got to live. Grants, it depends on the grant. They have what is called a budget, and you are allowed to have salaries. So you will have salary or administrative costs to cover salary. But you got to find out if the grant is restricted or unrestricted, you know. Other than that, you write yourself into the grant, so you can get paid through the grant even though you don't own the nonprofit. So you
Okay.
can get paid. So you want to avoid. I'm telling you the truth. I seen people go to jail,
Mm.
and the ones I seen go to jail was pastors.
No, we don't need that. Not in the
Uh
name of
huh.
the Lord. Sunday is tomorrow. We can't have that. So I do have some questions, and so I'm gonna go back and ask this because it's going to lead towards my next question to you. So when we were talking earlier about getting grant ready, we talked about social media. And the question that came in from Robin, she wanted to know is how important is it to have a lot of activity on your social media profiles when applying for a grant? And I'm going to tie in because I feel like this may go. How important is storytelling when applying for grants? Uh, as far as how you make smaller organizations stand out. So I'm thinking they go together, but you have to let me know.
Okay. What I want to comment on that. Uh, a lot of startup, they really, that's just it. Startup, they getting started. You need to have to be doing something, or you can put a projection, or you could put your story, the story, your mission, your vision. They shouldn't be going to an empty page. You need to have something. It might not be a lot, but by the time you put your mission statement, your vision, by the time you put your staff on there and you put your program services or products that you're offering and you give a description, and by the time, and then put a couple of pictures on there, then that should be sufficient. Now, as far as storytelling and a grant, my specialty are the micro grants, also known as small grant. That's what I have a strong background in, and those are grants 50,000 and under. They do not, as far from what I've seen, they have not asked for any storytelling. They haven't asked for no storytelling. They asked for general information. They asked you to upload some stuff. And then many of them have in the application, I'm paraphrasing. Is there any additional information you'd like to share? Now, I would say use that to do a storytelling. Use that to give additional information. The grants that are six figures and millions of dollars, them the ones that are looking for storytelling. And then also I want to mention real quick, I know it's not a question, but uh, somebody might ask, don't be shaken about this current administration. Oh, I heard they cut this grant, they cut that grant, blah, blah, blah. A governmental grant. There's always the foundation, the corporation, and businesses that you can uh, approach in regards to grant. So, don't get disheartened over the government. And we got advocates out here fighting like this current administration had snatched some after school money from Chicago, and them folks got to fighting and blah blah blah, and they was able to get the money back. So don't be like, well, what the heck, that this current administration is cutting this, cutting back, and blah blah blah. I would like to encourage you to still go after grants.
And we got a few more questions with you all. I will make sure that we get towards that. But let me just kind of recap and get an understanding. So how important is it to have a lot of things on social media? We want to have enough to show proof, proof of concept, proof of your vision, what it is that you're working on, right?
Yeah.
Right, that's it. They want proof that you are in operation, that you are doing something, even if it's a little bit. That's pretty much why they asking.
Yes,
They want proof that you are in existence.
got it.
That's pretty much what they want.
And I got a question here from Miss Felicia. Go ahead, Miss Felicia.
It's not really a question. It was a comment on what she said. I know some small grants don't require them, but I can tell you that I've applied for eight, and eight of them since I've graduated from the CBA 133, the beginning portion. And the last four, no, actually five, they ask you, what is your Facebook link? What is your Instagram? And some of them even want to know if your business is on LinkedIn. And if you have a reel or something like that, like the one that you guys posted from Sunshine, I think it was for Verizon, and there was another one that you posted recently that I applied for the same day because it was a deadline. They wanted you to show if you had actual social media. They wanted to know what social media your company was involved in. So I'm not saying that it's mandatory for everybody, but I do see that a lot more people are asking about social media because originally I was only on Facebook and Instagram. I wasn't doing reels and I wasn't doing TikToks, but I'm being encouraged more and more to do it because when I went out for a crowdfunding source, that was one of the things that they used as a reference for you. You know what I'm saying? To see who you're engaged with. How many followers do you have? So I'm not saying that it's important for everything, but it is becoming more and more prevalent that you have a social face, that you're face forward with your customers and your audience on social media.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you. That is
you.
great. That's
Oh,
good.
Dr. Glenn,
Yeah.
we got, not being disrespectful, but we got a lot of questions to get through. So can they
Uh-huh.
kind of
Uh-huh.
hold it?
Yeah, no, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. And just so you all know, we got a few more here. So I'm looking at the comments section. We're engaging in there. So you guys just let me know if you have some questions. I'll make
I
sure to throw them
appreciate the
in.
questions,
Yeah,
but
no, that was
we
a
got
very good.
some of your questions may be answered through the upcoming comments. So hold on, people.
He's coming to it. But I do want to make a shift here because we have been talking about the 501c3s, and I know there are some questions about the startups of 501c3s or like some of the basic documents or infrastructures that they need to have. So uh, is it fair to say that if they have that checklist provided already, then they can they may be in a place to start applying for grants?
Okay, yes. What a 501c3 nonprofit need to do a nonprofit to get a 501c3. I'll cover the major thing. As you know, Dr. Glenn, it is a very lengthy process. We have gone over it. The major thing is you need to be registered with your state. If you want a 501c3, you need to register with the your state Secretary of State. You need an EIN number, employee identification number from the Internal Revenue Service. You need to have bylaws, and then there's a lot of component. It's not an overnight, it's a process to get that 501c3. So what I just did, I just covered the major things that you need. There's a lot of itty bitty components in between. So those are the major things that you need for the 501c3. And I can't give away my pro-
Secret
uh,
sauce there.
proprietary secrets, trade secrets.
Yes, yes. So then how about instead then, uh what are some of the ways, because you mentioned before like about the different ways nonprofits can move forward beyond just donations. So what are some surprising ways that people can get funding for leveraging their 501, leveraging a 501c3? What are added benefits that you've seen?
Okay. Well, through my work of 30 plus years, I have made some discovery that the 501c3 isn't just for grant. And it hurt my heart that a lot of people don't, because they like 501c3, I get a grant. It's much more than that. With that 501c3, you can get sponsorship, private contributors. If your nonprofit own property, you can have what is called property tax exemption. You are eligible to apply on the behalf of the nonprofit property tax exemption. Not if you got not property tax exemption for yourself, but for the nonprofit. And I have had people that got exempt from property tax exemption. I know of people. Uh, Also available is water and sewage exemption. That if the nonprofit owns property in the name of the nonprofit, you're eligible to apply to be exempt from paying a water bill and sewage bill. Then another one that a lot of people are not aware of, if you're a nonprofit and you do massive mailing through the United States Postal Service, you can have bulk mail exemption, where you could be exempt for paying for postage. And I discovered, and I'm sure there's more, because I would never get the impression that I know everything. I don't. I have to constantly research and find things out. These are some things that I found out through the years, that there are at least 14 ways to use that 501c3, you know. So, yeah.
Yes, so, and you will share in your consultations and in your websites those 14 ways, right? Because I have a
They
few
can
links
go
that I've
to
been.
the PayHip store, and there is a booklet that talks about the 14 different ways to use the 501c3. And another way is you could get free property. I have came across clients, they bought a building for the nonprofit to operate, to provide services in the nonprofit name. And it's so much property out there that they could have gotten for free. And I'm getting ahead of myself. And I was like, oh my God, I wish we had a spoke. Because during the consultation, if you told me you were looking for property for the nonprofit, I would have shared and also pointed you to the PayHip. In the PayHip store, there's a book on how to use the 501c3 to purchase free, free property. I have a
Mm,
client now, and I am so proud. He's been my client for 18 years, and we're branching out into government contracting. And I set up his nonprofit, got him the 501c3, did all his paperwork, and he's into housing, and his passion is providing SRO, single room occupancy, transitional housing for the Black male, the African American male. That's his passion. And this is a freebie I'm throwing out here. Wells Fargo, as well as many other banks, they got all these foreclosed property on their book. They are not making any money. So if you have that 501c3 and you got a plan, you have to put together a plan and you submit that plan. Well, this brother, he got so many, I said at least about 10 properties, went to a closing, Wells Fargo turned it over to him and fund him so he could rehab it, and then he had the housing available for those programs for his nonprofit. So um you want to check with your bank because they're not making any money. They try to auction the property, some don't auction. So anyway, it's just so much out there. The 501c3 is so much more than grants.
so it sounded like a few things here. One, we can leverage a lot more with a 501c3. So that's what makes this an attractive, move.
Right.
There's so much to leverage with that, let alone property. We know real estate is a big, big game in any business, especially people who are trying to grow their wealth. But you also mentioned that you all are trying to work and get this government contract. So what are some of those smart ways that uh, we can partner with businesses or governments as a nonprofit?
Okay, that seems to go into another question that you presented to me. Um, all right, and that is about nonprofit structure generating earned income and becoming more sustainable. Is that going
Mhm.
into that question, Dr. Glenn?
Yep, you see
Okay,
where I'm heading.
so yeah, so yeah, I'm on to you. Yes, I am. You know, I'm always on to you. Okay, so people, to answer that and what Dr. Glenn just asked, uh, you want, yes, he has, okay. Now, although he have a nonprofit, now to get into government contracting, it is not available to nonprofit. You have to have a business. So here one or two ways. There's two ways you can tap into government contracting. One, you could just start a separate business. All right. It has to be a business. It could be sole proprietor, LLC, general partnership, limited partnership, S corp, C corp, so on and so forth. He started a separate business, and what he's planning to do, of course, he's gonna have a salary, and we're on it, my daughter and I, and then he's gonna take a portion of the money and funnel it into his nonprofit. Now, a second way you can get into government contracting, you have a nonprofit and you do a DBA. And a perfect example, Salvation Army. Salvation Army is known for shelter, food, and clothing. But guess what? They got all those thrift stores. Those thrift stores are retail and they have to pay taxes. And then whatever money they generate, they put it back into the nonprofit. Okay? Another good source and I'm sure it's okay. I know many of us have heard Living Word Ministry, Bill Winston out there in Forest Park. That non for profit, which is a church, owned that whole mall. Okay, DBA, they own that mall. And that mall has clothing store, bookstore, a restaurant, and then there's other businesses. And they generated, of course, they pay their taxes because that's unrelated to the nonprofit. So if you formulate a business in your nonprofit and it's unrelated and you're reporting this on the 990, then of course you're going to have to pay taxes, city, state, and to the IRS. So you need a an accountant or a CPA or a tax professional to guide you through that. I don't have that background. I'm just sharing information. I'm just educating you.
You know,
Let me see. You definitely want to get into crowdfunding. Get into crowdfunding. There's so many platforms. You want to sit down and look at everything that you provide in a nonprofit and figure out what can be monetized. What can be monetized. But whatever you monetize, remember, it got to be reported as an unrelated business, and it got to show up on your 990. And then otherwise, um, you got to, whenever you have an event, example, bake sales, okay, uh, you got to wear the word donation out. There's a church that was in Chicago. The Internal Revenue Service shut them down because they was having bake sales. You want to stay away from the word sale. They should have said baked goods. You want to stay
mm,
away from the word sale. You want to stay away from the word fee. Okay. Uh, because when you use the word sale fee, and there's some other words too, I don't remember off the top of my head, you are supposed to pay taxes. They were having these bake sales for decades. And then you never know when the Internal Revenue Service is going to do an audit. They do like a lottery, and they pick so many nonprofit each year to audit records, and they saw all this money from bake sales. They should have said bake good, put a sign up, bake good, donation, and then have donation by the cupcakes and the cakes and the pie. Wear the word donation out, because if you put fee or charge or cost or sale, you are required to pay taxes. And them people got shut down. And they were doing good for the community, all because they didn't have that little tidbit. So I'm giving you that freebie. I'm giving you that tidbit that if you are a non for profit, wear out the word donation. And if you can't get away and use the word donation, then make sure you are paying taxes on those unrelated sales.
you know,
Hopefully that's helpful.
Miss Eurydice, you have been dropping so many nuggets in such a short amount of time. So I just want to remind everyone that you do have access. Miss Eurydice is very active with Sunshine Enterprises, very active into our programs, help desk programs, but also in office hours. So when you look into the chat, she has her office hours link up there for you all to meet with her. And some of the questions, if we don't get to you right away, you will be able to ask her in more details, especially if you know that you're asking about your business. Not also, we do have that link in there for the hip store. So make sure you guys check that out. The 14 ways that you can leverage your nonprofit. For some of you guys who are also thinking about starting up a nonprofit, yes, this, look at those 14 ways. It could be very beneficial for you. We just learned about at least two or three of them on this call so far. So we coming down to the bottom of the hour, Miss Eurydice. So I'm probably going to ask you maybe three more questions. And I know this about you because we talk a lot. I know that you are always in different classes, different programs. You are always learning more. You're always improving more. Um, and so what I want to know, because you mentioned this before about how Sunshine Enterprises has helped you out, has helped to prepare you for where we at. So what what ways do you feel like it has helped you to where you are now?
Oh
For
wow,
Sunshine.
Sunshine! I can't say enough good. I know I need to be brief because we still got a few questions. Hopefully, we can get to the remaining question.
Yeah.
Sunshine has been very instrumental to me. I went to the Community Business Academy, and I still have my manual. My daughter and I graduated top. We were top in our co-hosts. I'm very proud of that. And then Sunshine offered workshop. I have participated in workshop. They have given me the opportunity to do workshop. I've gotten at least 7 grants from Sunshine, 7 micro grants. I was able to pay my accountant for 3 years off of that grant. That's why I said don't turn your nose up if a grant opportunity is only $1,000 or 500. One time I got a grant, not from Sunshine, from another source. It was only $25. Well, hey, I was able to buy ink cartridge, So just be grateful. Meeting with Dr. Glenn, Dr. Glenn, and I really like him because I'm always coming up with, I'm always throwing my 2 cents in. He know me, and I always tell him I'm for improvement, upgrading, updating, even on my end. And then what I love about Sunshine is you have the coaches. They got coaches that are available. And my coach is Will Lane Boone. I haven't had a chance to tap into the other coaches because I'm not where I need to be to tap in. So once she get me situated in a firm foundation, because my ultimate goal is to franchise the business that I have because it is lucrative. So I need to solidify my business. I need to scale it, and then I want to franchise it. And then when I'm ready, then I'll be able to move on to Nicole. So you got all these coaches, and I don't know every one of them, but I know right now I'm with Lane Boone, and she's been very instrumental in helping me with my business, working on the infrastructure. I like that word, Dr. Glenn. And I know my next coach is going to be Nicole, but I got to be what? Nicole ready. Okay.
Already.
Okay.
Love that. Yeah, yes. You know what? I think that's very, very vital. Something that you mentioned is that you are taking advantage of what we have post the course. Like you did your CBA, but then it's what's next. And I know Miss Quandra is here. She might be just listening in, but something that we talk about in the BAS and the BAS team is providing ongoing continual access so that we can continue to keep growing collectively as a community, as a business community. That is so vitally important to us. So, man, being active like you, I don't see you ever failing. I think you're always just going to continue to succeed.
Thank
And I
you.
am super excited to see how well that you are able to not only work with Sunshine clients, but man, just really take our community to the next level. So no, this is great. And so I know we got a few more. Free tools. What are some free tools or grant database or resources that you could recommend?
Okay, I am so excited, and I know we're running out of time, and I was hoping if no other questions be asked, that I would have the opportunity to share the freebies. Okay, now if you are a non for profit, and I have a nonprofit. well, the people in the state of Illinois have a nonprofit. Let me retract that. I don't own this nonprofit. It's called ECOP. There is a business that do free website. It's called 48, the number 48, and then IN, and then 48 again. They will do free website. You could get a free website in 48 hours, but it is tedious. They ask a whole lot of questions. You got to be on your toes. They ask for information. You got to return it right away. And in 48 hours, you will have a free website. Now, if they are book, they do it like quarterly, then you can get on what is called the wait list. Okay. And then the only thing you will have to pay for your domain name and your host fees. You will. But for nonprofit, and then there's some others, but I didn't write them down. I forgot them, and I apologize for that. But they the real deal. They did my website. It's Eurydice Community um, Outreach Project. Long name. Eurydice Community Outreach Project. If you want to take a look at my website, so once you answer all the questions, they assign a web designer. See, they did this. They did this. This is the nonprofit that I'm entrusted by the state of Illinois to operate. So that's it. They did that. I love the logo. It got that little lion in there right after the C. Yeah, I give back to the community. We give back through the nonprofit to the community. Those some events we did. Some other freebie is SCORE. Whether you're a nonprofit or a for-profit, you can go to SCORE. You have the SBA available. You got Sunshine Community Coaches available. Um, you got Eurydice non-for-profit library through PayHip. And then Dr. Glenn, I know you're gonna take advantage of this. You ready?
Yeah,
Because you told me you are not beyond working on grants and getting more money in. You want to apply for SKIP, SKIP. Um, SKIP, SKIP. I can't say enough about SKIP. I just joined. Now, I'm a grant writer. I just joined. SKIP is a business. They give away grants. They give away grants twice a week. Every Tuesday and every Friday, they give away grant. But of course, you got to be in it. They got the free package, and then they got premium. Then also they list they list a ton of grants. They list a ton of grants. I have so far, and I haven't been in Skip long. I have so far submitted 12 grants and waiting for a response. Responses should be coming in mid-August and September. There are grants that I filled out back in June. So, um, then you got the city, state, county, SBA website for grant opportunities. That's free. You can go on their website and look for grant opportunity. Now for the for-profit, this is good for you. This is called Zendeck, Zendeck, Zendeck. They have free grant opportunities listed plus tools, and they do non-for-profit pro bono work. They do that. So this is a good source for the for-profit business, no matter what structure you have. Then I have an upcoming workshop on November the 30th to teach you how to apply for online micro grants. So that's on November the 30th. November the 3rd, and you could go to Sunshine website because I'm always posting on Sunshine. And then GoFundMe, you know, they take a little percentage out. Kickstarter, Indiegogo, these are crowdfunding platforms. And there are others. They are not the only one, but they have been around for a while and pretty reputable. Now, one thing I want to mention is that I have had people to come to me and they like, I need help. I need help in paying my rent. I need help for personal. There is government assistanceonline.com that you can go to. You ain't ready for a nonprofit or a for-profit. You got too much going on for yourselves. I have had people that ask me for about grant for personal needs. um, Go while they in the midst of cut, you know, slide through, you know, before they get through. Okay. So, you know, I would encourage you to go to that. So that's it on that question. I don't know if we got time for any more. Let me see. I think we
No,
got
we
one, two. Oh, it's only three questions
Yep,
left, Dr. Glenn.
I'm gonna ask two of the three, and this is gonna wrap us up, everyone.
Okay.
So,
I follow your lead.
I just want for those who are nonprofit leaders, and some of these are our LLC leaders, uh, what's the one mindset shift you want them to walk away with today?
Okay. Okay, I don't think that's written. What do I want them to walk away
What
with?
do you want them to walk away with today? How do you want to shift their
Oh,
minds to the
okay.
yes?
I know what I want them to walk away with. Number one, schedule an appointment with me so you don't have to hem and haw and scratch your head. Number one, schedule an appointment with me. Office hour is free. FREE. You like free, like me. Okay? Decide if you are going to be a non for profit or a for profit. Review this recording, review the grant ready section, determine the target population. Who are you trying to get the products or services to? Okay, so I would say that. Are we still doing the spin, Dr. Glenn?
Um, we don't have time for the spin.
Okay.
So what I will do is I'm going to send out, so everyone that is here today, you all are going to get a follow-up email from me. And Mr. Eurydice, once they do that, when they reply, uh, the ones who reply the soonest, I would say, I am going to forward them to you for so that they can take advantage of your gift that you came here with. So before we close out, can you share what that gift is?
Oh, that would be a free 30 minutes consultation that you can set up through office hour, and you will get a grant getting ready checklist that will
Mm,
have some detailed information. Getting grant ready checklist.
great, great, great. All right. Man, there were so many questions that came in here today. I kind of knew this was going to happen, because we're talking about something extremely important for our nonprofits, and I think you have to be a very unique and special kind of a person to take on um, developing a nonprofit and working for a nonprofit. You have to have a very unique type of heart. So, thank you all for being here today, Mr. Eurydice. Thank you for this. Uh, we already said that they need to go ahead and schedule that time to meet up with you. But what are some other ways that they can connect with you?
Other way they can connect, I think it's in the chat, is office hour, my phone number. They can call, text me. I do not answer phone calls. Because when I answer phone calls, it's always Medicare, Cigna, telemarketers. You will not get me because I don't answer. Text me. If you really want to get to me, text me. Text me at 773-544-5341. 773 544-5341. One more time, 773-544-5341. And the turnaround time is 24 hours or less. I respond quicker with a text than with a phone call and an email. I'm going to be honest.
No, I understand that. And hope everyone really did enjoy this. Thank you, Eurydice, for being here. We're doing this on the fourth Saturday of the month, and it seems like you guys are starting to show up and show out, and I really appreciate it. Next Saturday that we're going to meet is going to be on August the 23rd. We're going to be talking with Coach Nakia. So I hope you guys are going to be ready with that. There's so much information that we're getting prepared for you already. And, again, shoot out the email. Make sure that you all reply. The first person to reply towards the email will be able to tap in and receive the prize from Miss Eurydice. Anything from you all? Anybody want to come off the mic, mute, let us know what it is you like and love, appreciated the most?
If they have any questions, they can book an appointment and I can answer their questions that didn't get answered.
Yeah, a couple of more. Okay. Nope, just got a lot of thank you. Thank you, Dr. Moore. Thank you, Sunshine. This was excellent. Thank you. It's a lot of love for you, Mr. Eurydice. You gave us a lot today. You gave us a lot.
I'm here for you.
Yes, yeah. So thank you all again. I hope you all have an amazing Saturday. Stay dry, stay cool, stay hydrated, stay in business. And I'll see you all next month. Bye, everyone.